Welcome to the paper of Computer Oriented Numerical Methods in the subject of Information Technology in EPG Pathshala. See, when we began, we learned the importance of finding roots of an equation of the form f(x) equal to 0 by numerical methods, because we realized that analytical methods fail to give us roots of so many different equations which are found in scientific applications. As a result, we began our journey of iterative methods to find roots of an equation f(x) equal to 0. We began with bisection method, which we found to be the simplest one, has many advantages. It guarantees convergence, it ensures convergence and very simple. The only drawback we found was that we found it to be slow. So, in our endeavor to increase the speed of convergence so that we can reach the root at a faster pace, we modified bisection method and we learned method of false position. Method of false position also guarantees convergence, is of bracketing nature as the bisection method. We need two initial guesses, is faster than bisection method, but still it has linear convergence. So, we further modified method of false position to get second method. Second method also requires two initial guesses, it is faster than false position, but no more it is a bracketing method and therefore, convergence was not guaranteed. Today in this series, we will learn another new method which is called Newton-Raphson method. It would turn out to be the fastest among all these methods we have studied. It has quadratic convergence and we can view it as a modification of second method. So, today let us learn first the iterative process of Newton-Raphson formula. First we will learn the mathematical concept of it and then we will also see how this method can be interpreted graphically. So, let us begin our journey for Newton-Raphson method. See, in Newton-Raphson method, if we are solving root of an equation f(x) equal to 0 and our sequence of approximations is given by x0, x1, x2, xn. So, the iterative formula is given by xn plus 1 is equal to xn minus fxn upon f dash xn. F dash xn stands for derivative of f at the point x equal to xn. First, let us realize how it can be understood as a modification of second method. If you remember, the formula of the second method is xn plus 1 is xn minus 1 into fxn minus xn into fxn minus 1, that is in the numerator, divided by fxn minus 1. See, this formula let us modify a little bit. In the numerator, in the second method formula, let us add and subtract xn into fxn. The reason why we are doing it, we want to approximate it to the Newton-Raphson formula. So, if when we add, the numerator becomes xn minus 1 into fxn minus xn into fxn plus xn into fxn minus xn into fxn minus 1 and denominator as it is fxn minus 1. Now, in the first two terms we take fxn common. So, becomes fxn and in the bracket xn minus 1 minus xn, and from the last two terms in the numerator we take xn common. So, it becomes xn into fxn minus 1. So, the numerator becomes fxn into xn minus 1 minus xn plus xn into fxn minus 1 and denominator is fxn minus 1. Now, see the first bracket and the second bracket, if we look at it, in the second bracket we have xn into fxn minus 1. So, we break from this plus middle part. So, first term is fxn into xn minus 1 minus xn upon fxn minus 1 and second term fxn minus 1 cancels, we are left with only xn. So, we get xn minus fxn and xn minus 1 minus xn we can take in the denominator. So, it becomes xn minus fxn whole upon, in the denominator we get fxn minus 1 upon xn minus 1. So, this is the another form which we are writing as equation 3 of second method. Now, see, we know if we have the ratio FB minus FA upon B minus A and take the limit as A tending to B, that is, as A comes nearer and nearer to B, then this limit of the ratio FB minus FA upon B minus A turns out to be the derivative of f at the point B. So, here see, as we have, these are the sequence of approximations. So, xn and xn minus 1 both are converging to the point x, which is root of the equation. So, xn and xn minus 1 would be quite close, and so when they are quite close, this ratio fxn minus 1 minus fxn minus 1 upon xn minus xn minus 1 can be treated as approximately equal to derivative of f at the point xn. So, substituting for this ratio fxn minus 1 upon xn minus 1 as derivative of f at the point xn, we can write this formula as xn plus 1 is equal to xn minus fxn upon f dash xn, and which is our Newton-Raphson formula. So, this is how we can arrive at Newton-Raphson formula using second method. See, this method now we can realize requires only one initial guess, but requires two function evaluations per iteration. One is the function value at the point xn and second is the derivative of f at the point xn. So, function evaluation part is not being saved. In fact, if we look deeply at it, see, if fxn, and many times the derivative of the function will be more complex than the function itself, and so the derivative will require more time than the evaluation of the function, and that way it may happen that these two evaluations may require more time as compared to the other methods. So, here when we begin with our, it is initial guess x 0, then x 1 we will get by x 0 minus f x 0 upon f dash x 0. Now, if your x 1 is the root, fine, otherwise we will get x 2 as x 1 minus f x 1 upon f dash x 1, and so on we continue. Let us look at this process graphically. We have understood mathematically the iterative process. We have also understood how it can be arrived from the formula of the second method. Let us see how this method can be understood graphically. What is the graphical interpretation of this Newton-Raphson formula? So, let us look at the curve y equal to f x has been plotted. X 0 is the point which is the initial guess. Corresponding point on the curve you can view as x 0 f x 0, and see, the derivative means tangent. So, if we draw tangent to the curve at the point x 0, this tangent meets the curve at the point, meets x axis at the point x 1. So, basically the graphically it means that you are taking initial guess x 0, drawing tangent to the curve at the point x 0 f x 0, the point where the tangent meets x axis, that is our next estimate for the root. Again, locate the point corresponding x 1 f x 1 on the curve, draw tangent to the curve, the point where it meets the x axis is the point x 2, and this is how we continue the process. The graph 2 are shown in figure 1 as well as figure 2 for different shapes of the curve. This graphical interpretation can be understood as follows. If you look at this figure 3, see, R is the initial point, initial guess x 0, and if we look at the point, say x 0 f x 0, let us label it as q, and the point x 1 where the tangent meets the x axis, let us call it p. So, if we look at this triangle p q r, and let us say the angle which tangent q p makes with the x axis, let us denote it as theta, then tan theta we know by trigonometry is given by perpendicular upon base. Perpendicular length is value of the function at the point x 0. So, it is f x 0, and base is the difference in the x coordinate values, that is r minus p, the length p r, and that can be given by x 0 minus x 1. So, the formula is tan theta is f x 0 upon x 0 minus x 1. Now, tan theta we know is nothing but the slope of tangent to the curve. So, we can replace tan theta by derivative of f at the point x 0. So, our formula becomes f dash x 0 is f x 0 upon x 0 minus x 1, and so taking cross multiplying x 0 minus x 1 becomes f x 0 upon f dash x 0, and that gives x 1 is x 0 minus f x 0 upon f dash x 0. So, this is how the interpretation of the graphical interpretation of the formula stands. See, as far as the stopping criteria is concerned, we can use any of the stopping criteria we have studied so far. Most of the time absolute x tolerance or relative error is used. If one wishes, one can also use function tolerance, but usually practically x tolerance criteria, either the absolute value of the difference of the two consecutive approximations, or if required answer is required correct to certain number of significant digits, then the relative error can be used to stop the process. And again one point to be noted, because this method does not guarantee convergence, it is always advisable to keep an upper limit on the number of iterations, because if the method does not converge in n iterations, then one should come out of the loop, otherwise the process will not halt and infinite loop will be set. So, the stopping criteria would be either we reach the root correct to certain number of decimal places or to correct certain number of decimal places, or we have reached upper limit on the number of iterations. In that case we exit, and by looking at the iterations we need to decide how to go ahead. Maybe hybrid approach may be required to begin again with either bisection or false position method to come sufficiently near the root, and once we have reached sufficiently near the root, then the Newton-Raphson can be employed to get faster convergence to desired accuracy. So, let us look at the algorithm now of this Newton-Raphson method. So, our first step is input f x, the given function, x 0 the initial guess for the root, f dash x derivative of the function. So, this method requires the function to be differentiable, epsilon the error tolerance, and n the maximum number of iterations. Initially our k will be 0, the 0th step will x 0 we have made the initial guess, will evaluate the function at x 0. So, we get f x 0 and also find derivative of f at the point x 0. So, we get f dash x 0. If we are very lucky and f x 0 comes out to be 0, we have got the root and we exit. Otherwise, we will calculate the next approximation x k plus 1 given by x k minus f x k upon f dash x k. We will check for convergence. So, we will take the absolute value of x k plus 1 minus x k, whether it is less than epsilon, or absolute value of x k plus 1 minus x k upon x k, the relative error is less than epsilon. If it is so, we have reached the desired accuracy and our output will be the estimate of the root x k plus 1 and we will exit. If not, we will increment the counter k. So, our new k will be the previous k plus 1 and we will check whether we have reached the upper limit on the iterations. If yes, if we have reached the upper limit, we will exit and we will print the out it does not converge. But if we have not reached the upper limit, we will again go back to step 3 and compute f x k and f dash x k and calculate the next approximation to the root. Let us look at the illustrations by applying this algorithm. Our first example is f x is x cube plus x minus 1 and we begin with the initial value x 0 as 0. So, if we look at the table, see we make the columns x 0, next column we are making for f x n, next for derivative of f, then the ratio f x n upon f dash x n and the next iterative point x n plus 1, and one more column we have made for knowing the estimate absolute value of x n plus 1 minus x n to see whether if it is less than epsilon we will like to stop. So, we begin our x 0 is 0, we evaluate the function at x 0 equal to 0 and we get the value of function at minus 1. The derivative of the function is 3 x square plus 1 and the value of this at 0 comes out to be 1. So, the ratio is minus 1 of value of the function and the derivative, and the next iterative point is 1. Now, this next iterative point 1 becomes the input to x n and again we calculate value of the function and the value of derivative which is 4, take the ratio 0.25 and so 1 minus 0.25. So, next estimate is 0.75 and this is how we continue the process and we get the root 0.682328. Let us take the next example. F x has 3x minus cos x minus 1. We begin with the initial guess x 0 as 0 as we have done in the previous examples. Derivative is 3 plus sin x. So, at x 0 initial guess x 0 is 0, value of the function cos 0 is 1, it becomes minus 2, derivative f dash is 3, sin 0 is 0, ratio becomes of f and f dash becomes minus 0.66667 and x 0 minus this ratio 0 minus this, it becomes x 1 becomes 0.666667 and the difference x0 minus x1 absolute value is 0.666667. Now, this x1 becomes the input for the next iteration, and we calculate the value of function now at x1. It is 0.214113, derivative at this point is 3.618370. Take the ratio of f upon f dash, that is 0.214113 upon 3.618370, that is 0.059174. Subtract this from x1, we get the answer 0.607493, and so difference x1 minus x2 is 0.059174, and now 0.607493 becomes the input. Again we calculate the value of the function 0.001397, derivative 3.570811, ratio is 0.000391, and so next point is 0.06071102, and so we see fast next iteration we get the value 0.607102, value of the function almost 0 and derivative 3.57. So, you see that how fast the method has converged in just 4 iterations. The answer is correct to 6 decimal places with the value of function as 0 up to 6 decimal places, and that is how the convergence of this method is very fast. But it does have certain pitfalls. See, there is no gain without any pain. So, we have achieved very good rate of convergence, fast rate, but it does have certain pitfalls. That is, there may be situations where the method may not converge or method may become slow, and the main culprit is because if the curve has different bends and because we are finding tangent to the curve at the point. So, the bend of the curve plays a very important role, and as a result the sequence of approximations may either oscillate may converge to a different route or may diverge or may become very slow. So, all these possibilities are there. We will just have a look at these possibilities graphically. So, there are different graphs which I am presenting to you. We can have a look at them, that how these pitfalls may occur in the process of convergence of the Newton-Raphson method. So, let us look at the first graph. See, the first situation is that during the sequence of approximations, the derivative may become almost 0. That is, the tangent is almost parallel to the x axis. And see, when this happens, because tangent is now parallel to x axis, it will not meet the x axis, or it is almost 0, almost parallel, it will meet the x axis very far, and so will not be able to get the root. Mathematically, the derivative f dash x will be 0. So, the ratio f upon f dash will become infinity. It will occur, buffer overflow will occur. So, just let us look at the graph. See, if you look at this figure 5, see the curve is there, x0 is the initial guess. When we draw tangent to the curve at the point x0 f x0, it meets x axis at the point x1. And when we look at the corresponding to x1, the curve point on the curve x1 f x1, and we draw tangent to the curve at this point x1, you see that tangent is almost parallel to x axis, because at this point tangent is, the derivative is 0, and when this happens the process will halt. We have to again restart with a new initial guess. Let us look at the second example of the pitfall, and that is what we call as oscillations may occur. If our x0 we make the initial guess, which is corresponding to one peak of the curve, and the point where it meets the x axis corresponds to second peak, or some similar situations may be there, and what happens is x0 the next approximation is x1 and x1 the next approximation is again x0, and so the values keep on oscillating between two values. There is no headway made, and this can occur anywhere during the execution for the approximations xk and xk plus 1. So, let us look at the curve. See, here it is x0, tangent is drawn, meets the x axis at x1, and again when we draw tangent to the curve at x1 f x1, again it meets x axis at x0. So, the approximations will only keep on oscillating between x0 and x1, or sometimes it may happen that a almost x0, it will be little different from x0, and which will lead to slow convergence. The third pitfall which occurs is that the convergence will occur, but convergence occurs to undesired route. It may happen, let us say for example, one is interested in a route which is between 0 and 1. One is interested in the smallest positive root, but the method may, you begin with the initial guess and the method converges to a root which is greater than 1. So, it converges, it does converge, but the method converges to undesired root, the root in which we are not interested. Again here the tangent plays the role. Let us look at the graph here. We have x 0, the point f x 0 on the curve. We draw tangent to the curve at f x 0, it meets x 1, and when we draw to the curve point tangent to the curve at f x 1, it is meeting the x axis at x 2. We draw tangent to the curve at f x 2, it meets at x 3, and again when we draw tangent to the curve, it is meeting at x 4. So, what is happening is, instead of converging to the root p, we begin with the initial guess x 0 with the intention that the method will converge to the root p, but it has converging to the root q, it has gone away from the root p and it is converging to the root, another root which is q. And let us look at the next pitfall, and that is the method may diverge. Let us look at the curve which has bends. So, we begin with the initial guess x 0, draw tangent to the curve at x 0 f x 0. Our intention is to find the root r. It meets x 1, but when we draw tangent to the curve at x 1 f x 1, it meets the x axis at x 2, and when we draw tangent to the curve at x 2 f x 2, it meets the x axis at x 3. So, what is happening is, as the curve has bends, we are entering different zones and the x 1, x 2, x 3, this sequence of approximations are going on increasing and increasing, and so the method is diverging instead of converging to the root r. So, all these pitfalls can happen, and whenever this type of pitfalls one can happen, looking at it, it means that we need to begin with an initial guess which is sufficiently near the root, and to make this initial guess in a good proper way, one may use a hybrid approach. One may use bisection method or method of false position, which guarantee us conversion, which are of bracketing nature, to get an initial guess, to get a root which is quite near the exact root, and that can become as input to employ Newton-Raphson method to get the root to a good desired accuracy. So, let us look at the advantages and disadvantages of this Newton-Raphson method. See, one very big advantage is we require only one initial guess. Second advantage is, technically, because it is not of bracketing nature, there is no technical constraint on making an initial guess. Nevertheless, depending upon the nature of the equation near the root, it may be that we require a good initial guess, and one may have to do sufficient groundwork to get good initial guess, or one may again employ some other method to get the good initial guess. It has very rapid convergence. The convergence in the Newton-Raphson method is quadratic convergence. As a result of quadratic convergence, what we can say is that the number of correct figures in the answer is nearly doubled at each successive step. See, this can be seen as follows. Let us say C is the root of the equation f x equal to 0. So, quadratic convergence implies that absolute value of C minus x n plus 1 will be less than equal to k times absolute value of C minus x n square. For our convenience, let us take k equal to 1. And let us say at a particular point, the estimate x n differs from exact root C by, let us say, 1 unit in the pth place. So, we can say that C minus x n is less than equal to 10 raised to minus p. For convenience, we have assumed k equal to 1, and so we can use from this inequality 6 that absolute value of C minus x n plus 1 becomes less than equal to 1 into 10 raised to minus p square. So, 10 raised to minus 2 p. That means, x n plus 1 differs from C by at most 1 unit in 2 pth decimal place. So, if we assume that x n differs from the root in by 1 unit in the pth place, we are getting that x n plus 1 differs from C at 1 unit at 2 pth decimal place. So, the number of correct figures doubles in each iteration in Newton-Raphson method, which is a very good advantage of Newton-Raphson. What are the disadvantages? Let us look at the disadvantages also. As already we have seen, there are many pitfalls. So, if the initial guess is not chosen properly, the method may diverge. Second disadvantage is, though it has quadratic convergence, it is a good fast method, but it may not be regarded as the most economical method time wise. Number of iteration wise, yes, it is the fastest, but because the other methods so far it required only one function evaluation per iteration. This method requires two function evaluations, function value and that of derivative of f at the point xn. Moreover, if function f has product terms like let us say sin x into e raised to x plus cos x into x raised to 5, the number of terms in the derivative will become at least double as the number of terms in the function f x. So, derivative will require double of the time evaluation of that of f x, and moreover in these iterative equations there are very less terms. See, the most chunk of time is consumed by the function or its derivative. As a result, time wise this Newton-Raphson method would not be economical if the function f x is not a simple function, and that is why the second method is called to be the most economical method. But yes, iteration wise it is the fastest method, and definitely it does have pitfalls. If your initial guess does not lead you to the convergence, one will have to employ the hybrid approach of using either bisection or false position in the initial stages followed by Newton-Raphson method when you have got the initial root correct to certain number of figures. Let us look at some extensions of this method. These also extensions of this method can be regarded as advantages. One very big extension of this method is that the same formula can be used to get complex roots of f x equal to 0. See, all these methods which we have learned so far can be used only to find real roots, but see any polynomial equation, any scientific application, one is required to get complex roots of the equation. Even simplest polynomial equations like x cube minus 1 equal to 0 has complex roots, x raised to 4 minus 1 equal to 0 has complex roots. So, our earlier methods would fail to get complex roots, but here mathematically the same formula with replacing x by z and writing z as x plus I y, the same formula works for finding complex roots of an equation f x equal to 0. So, our formula becomes z n plus 1 is equal to z n minus f z n upon f dash z n equal to 0, 1, 2 so on, with z n replaced by real part plus I times imaginary part. So, z n is x n plus I y n, and the same formula is used to find the complex roots. Second advantage is, let us look at the system of linear equations or system of non-linear equations. If we have m equations in n variables, then also these system of equations can be represented by vector equation of the form f z equal to 0, where of course now f v equal to 0 we may call it, v is a vector, and again the Newton-Raphson method can be evolved, not exactly the same formula, we have partial derivatives there, Jacobians come across, and but the same formula is developed and one can use that formula to find roots of system of non-linear equations as well. If one is interested, one can refer Chennai and Kinkel for the same. And third beautiful extension which we can have a look is about the fractals. All of you would be familiar with the fractal patterns. The fractal patterns can be generated graphically using Newton-Raphson method by very simple equations nth roots of unity. One can try z cube minus 1 equal to 0, that is the cube roots of unity, or one can try z raised to 4 minus 1 equal to 0. Some patterns are shown to you here, the fractal patterns, they are shown to you on the screen, which are used, which are found by finding solution of the Newton-Raphson method. Let us just briefly, let me give you the hint about it. See, let us, if we are trying to find nth roots of unity, let us say our equation is z raised to n minus 1 equal to 0. We define what we call as basin of attraction, which is defined as the set of initial points z0 which converge to the same root. Because there are n roots, some initial guesses will converge to one or the other root, and for some initial guesses the method will not converge. So, we plot all those points which converge to a given root with the same color, and all those initial guesses for which they converge to another root by different color. So, this is how we color the region with the different colors, and so we get disjoint basins of attractions, and these disjoint basins of attractions, when we look at them, and they are nothing but they give rise to fractals. The URL is mentioned in the references, one can look at the URL, how to go about it, about generating fractals for finding nth roots of unity. Even non-polynomial equations also can be used to generate different fractals. So, that is what just for fun. So, today in this module we have learned yet another modification of yet another method which we treat as a modification of secant method to find roots of an equation f x equal to 0. This is fastest among all we have learned, supposed to be the best in the terms of speed in the rate of convergence, also has different extensions, that is we can find even complex roots and we can use it to find solution of non-linear system of equations, but does have disadvantages. Time wise it may not be fast. Moreover, there are pitfalls, the method may not converge, but definitely if the method does not converge, one may has to try hybrid approach, arrive at a good proper initial guess by other methods which guarantee us convergence and then apply it to get the desired accuracy. In our next module, we will learn yet another method which is called successive approximation method, a very simple method for finding roots of an equation, and also we would like to study the special case of polynomials, because polynomials are very important case of study. So, special methods may be particular case of Newton-Raphson method also and some other special methods to find roots of polynomial equations. Bye till then, good luck, have a good day, bye bye.